Hello, it's Viola. I'm back with another project. So today I decided to make the little mini composition notebooks. You can find the regular size notebooks at like Walmart, Target, but these are just minis that can go into your junk journal. So that starts off with a cover, and then on the inside cover is a place to journal, to a pocket for ephemera, another place to journal, another pocket for ephemera, and then the back. Also included is a pocket there to put something, and it should, there we go, it's a pocket there. So let's go ahead and get started on how to make these. They're actually very simple and don't take very many supplies. In starting out my videos, I'm going to start just showing what you need in supplies to make these. So you're going to need some sort of cardstock. Preferably, you can use the same sheet that you do your cover and your pockets with. I do them differently, but that's entirely up to you. And then an index card. And I use, and for this project you don't really have to, but I use coffee stained paper. And this is 8.5 by 14. So what you're going to do is you're going to fold. We're going to start by folding our paper. We're going to fold it down and make a nice clean fold there. So when I turn it over and I go to fold the other half down, what I'm doing is I'm actually defining how tall I want my notebook to be. And let me just grab the notebook. But this is defining how tall you want your notebook. And you can only make it so, tall with an 8.5 sheet of paper. But, so this is how tall I'm going to make my notebook. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to do some gluing. All right. And I want to make sure that this glue is, I did a little bit too far. I didn't do it. I don't know why I didn't do that. I'm off today, just a little off. So I'm just going to let that set for a minute. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we are going to be defining how wide we want our little mini notebook to be. And when I say wide, I mean width-wise this way. And what we're going to do, let me just make sure that I'm got everything in. There we go. Is I'm going to start with the fold up facing me. And I'm going to go ahead and say I want my tablet to be a little over 2 inches wide. I'm going to fold that down. I'm going to make that fold crisp and clean. And then I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to fold it again. And I want to make sure that I'm kind of trying to line up where my fold is to the page end so that they kind of, how do I want to say that? They line up. So this is at the same width that the first fold is. So when I've got that one folded, I'm going to turn the paper over again and I'm going to fold again. Again, I want to make sure I'm trying to match the width with the prior fold. So I've got this like so. So that is what I have. I don't need this page or this paper until later. So I'm going to line my scissors up along where I've folded, and I'm going to cut that piece off. And I am going to use a portion of that, so you'll want to save it. So what it looks like is it kind of looks like a W or an M, and what it will do is this is the guts of our notebook. So again, looks like an M. What I want to do is I want to start with this side or this side. I want one of the sides that has the fold out, facing outward, because the inside of my book, I want it to look nice. So this is where I'm going to start placing my pieces. And what I've gone ahead and done is I've already cut out my pieces here, my individual pieces. But what you can do is to create your inner pieces of journal card, you can just line it up here, and I've got it, so it's here, and then you can cut along here, and this one's just a little shorter than the card, so I'm just gonna, I would have trimmed off a little bit there. Then what I do is I come in here, and this isn't the paper that I'm gonna use, but I come in here, and again, I hold it up here, and I cut along here, being careful not to cut my coffee stained paper. And then I cut how deep I want the pocket. So I've already gone ahead and cut those. So I'm going to glue my first journaling spot in. Okay. So I just want to get it in there. There we go. So my first journaling spot is in. Then I actually didn't do these for the other notebooks, but I definitely like the appearance of a notch when creating a pocket. So I'm just going to put a quick notch in that, and then I'm going to put some glue, and I'm going to put my pocket in. And I always line them up on the outside, so that when it comes time for the paper to fold, there's a little extra room in there. That way that fold will lay nicely. So then I'm going to just take a quick notch out of this one. And I want to make sure it's just a little bit wider. So I'm going to put my next pocket in. There we go. And then I'm going to bring it over to the edge, and hopefully it's a little less wider than my, yeah, it'll lay pretty good. Wish I would have done it just a little bit more, but I'm going to go ahead and put my second tuck spot in. Not my second tuck, I'm sorry. My second journal spot. So I'm just going to put that in. I just want to kind of make sure I've got it in straight. Okay. There we go. So now I've got my first journaling space here, my tuck for my ephemera, my second journal space here. I'm just going to glue that down a little bit more. Looks a little more finished. And then my second pocket for my ephemera in there. So now I'm ready, and I already have gone ahead and created the covers. But with this, again, you can take your piece of cardboard, put it here, and this actually is lining up really good, but cut along here, being careful not to cut, or, you know, you can do some good old-fashioned measuring. This is 3 inches. I believe this is 4, so this is a 3 by 4, so you can cut it that way. I'm not much of a measurer. My husband has the mind of a scientist, and he measures everything. So he does not kind of get how I can live unmeasured. So that's a term I use, unmeasured. There we go. Okay, so then what I want to do is I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to glue my cover onto my little composition book. Okay, so I've got my front cover on, and then I'm going to go ahead and turn it over, and I'm going to do my second cover, which is the back cover, and I'm just going to put some glue on it, making sure that the cover gets secured to my little notebook. And I have no rhyme or reason for my gluing either. Sometimes I write little words in there. If I happen to be praying over a piece, I'll write, you know, something reminding me that as I'm making these things that my heart has gone into it. I am very thankful that the good Lord gave me the joy of artistic integrity, and I so enjoy having this, and I'm thankful that that is a gift. Okay, so let me just, now I know my husband would say, if you measured that, you wouldn't have to trim that. Okay, so I have my little composition book, and I want to finish it. If you remember this piece, I'm now going to cut this open because I need this piece, or rather just half of it. Let me go ahead. Excuse me. I'm actually going to use about 2/3 of it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fold about, let me just get into the camera here. I'm going to fold about a little more than, what is that? 2/3? No, 1/3. I'm not really sure. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this side. So I'm going to use plenty of glue, and this is how your little notebook is going to stay together. And turn it over. I want to make sure I get the right sides on where I'm not wanting this little piece to go to. And then I'm going to push it down so that it's flat against my little composition book. And I'm going to secure that glue, making sure that's going to stay in place. Then I'm going to just make sure that that size, and that is for me, it's just a tiny bit too much of this showing in the front. So I'm going to do a quick little trim. And then, yeah, that looks more better. Okay, and actually, I know, if I would have measured it, my husband would say, here we go. Okay, so then I'm just going to put a good amount of glue on this part, and I'm going to go ahead and fold it over and just make sure there's a nice connection there for the glue to adhere and to keep the notebook together. There we go. Turn it over, secure. There we go. Turn it over, secure. Now for this piece, I will say I have always used my coffee stain paper. However, for these, I had really dark coffee stain papers. So you may consider using something dark if you choose to. I just use the coffee stain piece of paper that I have. Then what I do to just kind of finish this off, let me just find, well, maybe I won't, because I've gone and put that somewhere. I don't know. It was some ribbon that I was going to finish this off with, but I cannot seem to find. Well, I can use this. Yeah, I can use this. It's got a little auburn in it. So I'm just going to go ahead and have a little ribbon right here. And I'm just going to wrap it a couple of times around my notebook. Give it a little bow. Here we go. And finish this notebook with a little bow. Now, I know I finished a pog early on, and of course, here we go. I'm just gonna put, this is probably a little big, but it'll kind of give it a little finishing look to it. Just gonna put a little pog on there. There we go. And then this is now ready to be added to a junk journal. Isn't that cute? Darling cute little mini composition book. Thank you for joining me. I so appreciate you spending your time with me. If you like this video, I would hope that you will, I believe it's called Ring the Bell and subscribe to my channel. But I have enjoyed making this with you, and I hope that I have inspired you to make one. Have fun.